Good morning. Welcome to the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha TV this Friday morning. I'm Ashwarya with you. Let us start the Breakfast News with the top headlines. India condemns irresponsible and provocative statements by Pakistan. Foreign Ministry says Pakistani leaders stand exposed before the world for making statements on Kashmir that are far removed from reality. Army Chief Bulletin to review security preparedness in the valley today. Government to soon announce big steps to boost the industry. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman says government focused on increasing expenditure on infrastructure. Asian Development Bank President Nakao pledges $12 billion support to India's development initiatives. After meeting Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Delhi, promises to strengthen partnership in renewable energy, plastic recycling, among other endeavours. Prime Minister Modi to felicitate people for outstanding contribution to promote yoga. Prime Minister to also release 12 Ayush commemorative postal stamps today. 10 Ayush Health and Wellness Centres to be launched in Haryana. And Abhishek Verma wins a gold medal in 10 metres air pistol event in Shooting World Cup. Saurabh Chaudhary bags bronze and Sanjeev Rajput secures India's 8th Olympic quota in shooting with a silver medal in men's 50 metres rifle. India tops tally with 2 gold, 1 silver and 1 bronze. Our top story, India has condemned the statements made by Pakistan after the abrogation of Article 370. The Ministry of External Affairs spokesperson Ravish Kumar said that the highly irresponsible statements by Pakistani leadership on the internal matters of India are intended to project an alarmist situation far from the ground realities. He also asked Pakistan to behave like a normal neighbour and not push terrorists in a neighbouring country. On reports of Pakistan closing its airspace, Ravish Kumar said that there has been no official statement from Pakistan confirming that they have closed the airspace.
We strongly condemn the highly irresponsible statements made by the Pakistani leadership on matters internal to India. These statements include references to jihad and to incite violence in India. This is intended to project an alarmist situation which is far from the ground realities. Pakistan needs to understand that the world has seen through their provocative and unsubstantiated rhetoric, which is based on lies and deceit.
And speaking on the situation in Jammu and Kashmir, Ravish Kumar dismissed the letter written by Pakistani Minister Shireen Mazari to the United Nations on alleged human rights violation in Jammu and Kashmir. He asserted that the situation was returning to normal in the state and mobile phone services have also been resumed in 10 districts of Jammu and Kupwara and Handwara in the Kashmir Valley.
The mobile phones have been opened in 10 districts of Jammu, 10 districts of Jammu as well as in the entire revenue districts of Kupwara and Handwara in the Kashmir Valley. You are aware that the landlines have been operating in Jammu and Ladakh. We have announced a phased opening up of landlines in the valley. There are certain manual interventions which are required, and that is the reason why it may take some time. The government has also announced that it would ensure the preservation and protection of the heritage, language and identity of the region.
And Army Chief General Bipin Rawat will visit Srinagar for the first time since the revocation of Article 370 in Jammu and Kashmir. And during his visit, Rawat will review the security preparedness and Security, remember, was beefed up in the region after the abrogation of Article 370 and the bifurcation of state into two union territories. Youngsters and government employees will be the real beneficiaries in Jammu and Kashmir following the abrogation of Article 370. Union Minister Jitendra Singh said this while addressing a delegation of students from Jammu and Kashmir in the national capital. The minister also said that never in the past the country has witnessed such a favourable time to abrogate the special status given to Jammu and Kashmir, and the situation had arrived after the sacrifice of 3 generations of people. He added that the youth of Jammu and Kashmir will be the real beneficiary. He also informed that the emoluments of government employees in the two union territories will be enhanced by 3 to 4 times. These students hailed from Doda, Kishtwar, Udhampur, Jammu and Samba regions. And after receiving directions from the government to open a counter for air ticket facility in Srinagar, Jammu and Kashmir administration has set up air ticket counters at the tourist reception center in collaboration with the airport authorities to facilitate the bookings of tickets following inconvenience caused due to the internet and communication restrictions.
गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से जो डिविजनल एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन की तरफ से वो स्टेट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन की तरफ से एक डायरेक्शन आ गई कि इन कोलैबोरेशन विद एयरपोर्ट अथॉरिटीज़ हमारा डिपार्टमेंट और डिस्ट्रिक्ट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन एक काउंटर यहाँ खोले हर एक एयरलाइंस का प्लस टिकट एजेंट्स का जो हमारे ट्रैवल एंड ट्रैवल के एजेंट्स हैं उनका एक काउंटर खोले ताकि लोगों को सहूलियत मिले यहाँ मेन सिटी सेंटर में टिकट मिलने के लिए। अदरवाइज़ आपको पता है इस वक्त जाना पड़ता था एयरपोर्ट, तो एयरपोर्ट में सिक्योरिटी और फ्रिस्किंग और वहाँ एक लाइन बहुत बड़ी होती थी, उससे थोड़ा सा लोगों को दुश्वारी आती थी। वो दुश्वारी दूर करने के लिए हमने फैसला किया, गवर्नमेंट ने फैसला किया कि यहाँ एक टिकट काउंटर शुरू करें।
And intelligence inputs reveal possible infiltration by terrorists from Pakistan through the sea route. Now, security has been beefed up at the major ports in Gujarat, especially Kandla and Mundra ports and other key installations in the coastal region after intelligence inputs that Pakistan-based terrorists may make infiltration attempt through the Kutch area. A security advisory issued by the port authorities directed ports and ships to take utmost security measures and maintain anti-terror watch. The advisory sought preventive measures including additional deployment of security personnel, combating patrolling in the coastal region and intercepting any suspicious vessel or crafts or boats that are approaching towards the sea coast. And referring to the abrogation of the Article 370, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu said that the decision was an internal administrative arrangement. He was speaking at the Society for Applied Microwave Electronics Engineering and Research in Visakhapatnam on Thursday. He added that India would give a befitting reply if anybody tried to intervene in our internal matters.
And particularly our neighbor is aiding, abetting, funding, training terrorists. Keeping all these things in mind, we must be on guard. We must have our own initiatives to protect ourselves. So we don't want to interfere in anybody's internal affairs. We don't want anybody else to interfere in our internal affairs. India is a free country, sovereign country. Every part of India, including Jammu Kashmir, is all part of India. We can't even think of anybody interfering in this internal affairs. What we have done in Kashmir is only an internal arrangement, administrative arrangement.
And Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu stressed on the need to create and nurture the culture of innovation to fully utilize the collective potential of human resource. Addressing the 33rd convocation of the Quality Circle Forum of India in Hyderabad, he pointed out that there was an urgent need to ensure work-life balance in people's lives and expressed concern over the fast-paced modern-day lifestyle which is extremely stressful. He also called upon all political parties to evolve a code of conduct for their public representatives at all levels, from the panchayats to parliament. He stressed on the need to raise the quality of public discourse in our country.
Problems can be solved individually and also by working together. Perhaps working together can provide better results. Organizations must create an enabling environment in bringing out the innate potential of every person to solve problems and not accept the status quo. Promoting team spirit, encouraging new ideas, knowing the success stories of others, empowering employees to express their opinion freely would help everybody. An organization can make important value addition to a product or service by giving importance to the feedback given by the customers.
And the centre will soon announce 2 big steps to boost the industry sector. Stating that the consumption needs to be given a push, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said that the government has decided to increase spending and has announced a slew of measures to address the sluggishness, especially in the automobile market.
Globally, if you compare economies and their growths, we still are the fastest growing. And when industries approached us saying there are issues that they are facing, we also wanted to recognize that consumption will have to be given a boost. And therefore, from the budget announcements onwards, our consultations have been with industries. And particularly to understand consumption and boosting of consumption-related matters, we had announced even in the budget that public spending on infrastructure will continue to be, like the way it was between 2014 and 19, will continue to be our priority. We shall be spending considerable amounts for infrastructure.
In Breakfast News, time to take a very short break. We'll be right back with more news on the other side. Stay tuned.
The Indian Railways will have its own commando unit known as Commandos for Railway Security. The commando unit will consist of Railway Protection Force and Railway Protection Special Force personnel.
The necessity was felt based on the past experiences that railway needs trained commando forces which can handle issues in these problematic areas. So we are already having around 15 battalions of RPSF, which we call Railway Protection Security Force, and we decided to convert 1 battalion totally into the commando battalion.
Those young boys who are there within the age group of 25 to 35, they were selected, and about 1,000 to 1,200 as per the strength of that battalion, they were taken to Jagadhri Training Institution and various other training institutions. They were trained by Cobras and various other instructors, and they are ready for the warlike situation.
The incentive also, the challenge, the risk factor is also equally important. If we are creating for a special particular emergencies, then we have to provide those incentives also for these people.
The Asian Development Bank on Thursday committed $12 billion to the government's new flagship initiatives, including piped water for all and road safety over the next 3 years. The multilateral bank has said this after its president, Takehiko Nakao, met Prime Minister Narendra Modi in the national capital, Delhi. Nakao commended the government's vision to make India a $5 trillion economy. Both leaders discussed how to further enhance partnership in areas like promotion of new technologies, innovation, renewable energy, solar pump irrigation, electric vehicles and battery, sustainable tourism and recycling of plastic. The ADB president said that India is one of the fastest growing economies in Asia and the Pacific, maintaining a growth rate of about 7.5% on the average in the last 5 years. He said that the ADB expects the country's growth in 2019 at 7% and at 7.2% in 2020, despite the downside risks in the global economy. And days after Prime Minister Narendra Modi and French President Emmanuel Macron held a bilateral meeting, the French President's advisor Emmanuel Bon on Thursday called on Prime Minister Modi in New Delhi. Last week, remember, Prime Minister Modi and Emmanuel Macron held one-on-one talks in France, where Macron echoed India's stand on Jammu and Kashmir, saying that India and Pakistan should resolve the issue bilaterally. On to some other news now. Union Minister for Civil Aviation Hardeep Singh Puri has said that the government is determined to privatize Air India. He said that the government should not be in the business of running an airline and it should be operated by the private sector instead. The first meeting of the alternative mechanism set up for Air India and headed by Home Minister Amit Shah will be held soon. And subsequent to the first meeting, the minister said that the disinvestment process will pick up a pace and is open to 100% FDI in the aviation sector.
The government's determination to privatize Air India is a given. It's undiluted. The procedure involves the formation of an alternate mechanism, which is a group of ministers. My submission to you, that has been formed. It is headed by our Home Minister, Shri Amit Shah ji. Before you reach that level, there has to be a meeting taken at the Cabinet Secretary's level to prepare the ground, sift that. That meeting has taken place.
And in some good news, Air India is all set to impose a ban on plastic products on all of its flights from 2nd of October this year. According to Air India, products such as plastic bags, cups and plastic straws will be banned on all Air India flights. The ban on using plastic will be implemented in all flights of Air India Express and Alliance Air flights in the first phase, while in the second phase, it will be implemented in Air India flights as well. The national carriers will use eco-friendly birchwood cutlery in the place of plastic cutlery for special meals, while crew meal cutlery will be replaced with lightweight steel cutlery. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will present Yoga Awards to the winners of PM's Award in Outstanding Contribution for Promotion and Development of Yoga in New Delhi today. And during the ceremony, Prime Minister Modi will also release 12 commemorative postal stamps to honor the eminent scholars, practitioners and great master healers of Ayush systems. The winners of the Yoga Awards were, remember, announced during the International Day of Yoga in Ranchi. Japan Yoga Niketan and Bihar School of Yoga will be awarded in the institutional category, while A. Rosi from Italy and Swami Rajarshi Muni of Life Mission in Gujarat will be given the prizes in the individual category. Each of them will be felicitated with a cash award of 25 lakh rupees and a trophy and a certificate. And during the event, Prime Minister will also launch 10 Ayush Health and Wellness Centres located in Haryana. On to some other news now. President Ramnath Kovind yesterday gave away the National Sports Awards in New Delhi. The Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna Award, the highest sporting honour in the country, was awarded to para-athlete Deepa Malik. Also, Swapna Burman, B. Sai Praneeth, B. S. Bhaskaran, Sonia Lather, Poonam Yadav are among the 13 sportspersons who have been conferred with Arjun Award. Also, footballer Gurpreet Singh Sandhu, sprinter Mohammad Anas, shooter Anjum Modgul, Asian Games silver medalist, equestrian Fuad Mirza are among the other prominent names who received the Arjun Awards. And Mohinder Singh Dhillon in athletics, Sandeep Gupta in table tennis and Vimal Kumar in badminton were given the Dronacharya Awards. And Dhyan Chand Award 2019 has been conferred upon Manoj Kumar for wrestling, C. Lal Rem Senga for archery, Aru Basak for table tennis, Nitin Kitkane for tennis, and Manuel Fredericks for hockey. On to some other news now. Assam state government is gearing up for the much-awaited release of the final National Register of Citizens on Saturday, which potentially seeks to disenfranchise illegal immigrants in the state. Assam government has asserted that adequate security measures have been put into place across the state. It said that those people whose name do not appear in the final NRC would get opportunities to appeal in the tribunals. The State Chief Minister Sarbanand Sonowal also has appealed to the people to maintain peace. And India and Poland on Thursday agreed to confront terrorism in all its forms, particularly cross-border terrorism. This came after External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar discussed a wide range of issues, including security, defense and economy, with his Polish counterpart in Warsaw. S. Jaishankar, who arrived in Poland on Wednesday after a two-day visit to Russia, said that the two countries agreed to further strengthen our collaboration on global issues and cooperate more closely in multilateral organizations. The two ministers discussed a wide range of issues concerning bilateral political cooperation, as well as in the field of economy, education and culture. And they agreed on the importance of maintaining peace and security in various regions and discussed also the Indo-Pacific and West Asia. Let's get to some sports news now. In shooting, Abhishek Verma won a gold medal and Saurabh Chaudhary won the bronze in the men's 10 meters air pistol event of the World Cup at Rio de Janeiro on Thursday. Abhishek Verma shot 244.2 in the 8-man finals, whereas Saurabh Chaudhary's 221.9 was good enough to get him the bronze medal. And Sanjeev Rajput secured India's 8th Olympic quota in shooting with a silver medal finish in the men's 50 meters rifle 3 positions event at the World Cup. Remember, India have already exhausted the maximum Olympic quotas available per country in this event, with both Verma and Chaudhary securing quotas in the previous qualifying events. And India is placed at the top of the medals tally right now with 2 gold, 1 silver and a bronze medal. And in cricket, India will take on West Indies with another dominant show in the second and final World Test Championship encounter starting at Sabrina Park in Jamaica today. Having won the first test by 318 runs, India are runaway favourites going into the second match. Remember, India have already clinched the T20 and the ODI series against the West Indies. And that is a wrap on this edition of Breakfast News. But before we go, take a look at today's weather forecast. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead.